Welcome to RickRackRuby. I'm Laura Cluvo. Today we are working on a 1970s throwback project. It's the Mouse in a Matchbox Christmas ornament. It's fun and easy, so let's get started. To create the Mouse in a Matchbox, we'll start with a 4.5-inch square of printed fabric. I like to go with something that looks like it has a lot of variety in the colors, and it looks like it could be like a quilt or something for the mouse. And then we'll cut from gray felt. This is the head, this is the ears, and this is the little pink linings for the ears. This is about 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. And this is about 1.5 by 3/4. This is about a 1/2 inch circle. This little matchbox, when I was a girl, you could get a box of these for 59 cents. I mean, not just one box. I think it had 10 or 12 of these in it. And they were everywhere. They were at the local grocery store or even at the hardware store. You can get them anywhere. And now they're a little bit harder to find, but you can look for them on eBay or someplace like that. Or you can just use not necessarily the specific brand of rosebud matches, but just any kind of a matchbox. Okay, so I cut these from gray felt, and these are pink felt. This is for the little bed, and this becomes his bed. So let's get started. There's really no machine sewing in this project, although you probably could make it on the machine. I've always sewn these by hand. I'm going to start by folding this fabric into thirds, approximate, and then over like this. I have some little trees here. I want to make sure those are right side up. Then I will add some glue in here to kind of hold the layers together. Just put a few smudges in between the layers of fabric. And then I will glue this into the box. So just a little bit of glue in the center. And I'm going to set this right here. So there's like a little edge coming out of the top. That's kind of like a pillow. And this will slide on. The matchbox is created, there's like a little seam here. And I want that seam to be down. So I'm going to put the lid on the box in this direction. The next thing I want to do is sew up the head. This is the head and neck. I'm going to use a matching thread. I have a gray thread. There's a double strand with a knot in the end. I'll fold this in half. And start back here. This is the top, the back top of the head. And then I'm just going to do an overcast stitch. Don't go down too far, but you do need to go down far enough so that the stitch won't pull out of the felt. Then I'll just stitch all the way around to here. And then we'll start to stuff the head. My stitches are not perfect. There's my very imperfect and yet somehow charming stitching. And to stuff, I'm going to use a bamboo skewer. It does not take much stuffing. And I'm going to stuff just the face first, and then I'll continue to stitch down the neck. I'm leaving that thread there. There we go. And now I'll continue to stitch down the neck, and then I'll stuff the neck. And I'm going to knot off my thread here at the bottom. Now we're going to get a little bit more stuffing in this neck. There we go. Now we have just completed the most difficult part of this project. Everything else is pretty easy. I just put a little bit of glue in the end here, just to prevent the stuffing from coming out. Now let's work on the face. It's funny, I find the best way to start is by blushing the cheeks. So I'm going to just put a little bit of blush there, just a little circle of pink on each side. That looks good. And then I'm going to draw little sleepy eyes, just a straight line slanting down from the nose to the back of the head. Try to get this in the same, approximately the same position on the other side. That looks pretty good. And now I have some black thread. It's heavy black thread. And I've tied a knot here about 2.5 inches short of the end. This is going to become the whiskers. So I'm going to put the whiskers right here between the eye and the end of the face here, so about right here. And then when I go over to this side, I'm stitching through, I'll stitch the eye. So on this side, don't pull it too tight. You just want that to rest. Those are too long, I can tell they're a little too droopy. Although droopy is okay. Then I'll stitch just a single stitch with a double strand for the eye, then go across. And don't pull the eye too tightly. Stitch the other eye and then come out here to do the second set of whiskers, and that's really all there is to it. There's the eye, and now I'm going to do a little knot on the surface here. So I'll just do an overhand knot, and I'll put the tip of my needle in the center, pull it tight. There we go. And there's the second set of whiskers. So I have 2 eyes and 2 sets of whiskers with one threading of the needle. Then for the nose, and I'll draw this for you. You don't really have to draw it first, but I kind of put it about right here. Not in the dead center of the front and not off the top, but kind of right on the corner, if that makes sense. And I have 3 strands of pink floss. I'm going to start the knot at the back of the head. Remember, that's going to be covered by the ears and it's going to be glued down into the bed, so it doesn't matter if that knot shows. I'll probably do 5 or 6 stitches across here to form the nose. Just a satin stitch. That looks good. So I'll send this back to the back of the head. There we go. And then I'll secure the knot back here. Actually, I can tell it's going to be pretty tight already because that is very tight with the stuffing. So I'll do just a smudge of glue in the center of each one of these pink circles. I'll place them in the center. Not too much glue. I'm also using a nice quality wool felt. So that kind of helps. Then I'll add some glue to the back of the head, not a lot, oops, just enough to hold, like that, nice. And then I'm going to glue this into here and slide this on right up to his chin. So I slid the lid on right up to his chin. And that looks good, but I'm going to add a little bit of glue here. So it's on the bottom of the box, and then when I slide it up, it's going to catch right there. Cute, so there's his little chin. Now we can't forget his tail. So the tail is just a little sliver of felt. I think this is about right. So you just don't want to make it too thin because then it's easy to break. And you don't want to make it too long because that's also easy to break. So I just applied a little bit of glue there, and I'm going to glue that inside the box like that. Nice. Now for a hanging loop, I'm going to use red and white baker's twine, and I actually stitch through the top of the box. So we're actually stitching through the cardboard. I try to get this kind of in the center. I mean like the center here, from the center across. Tie that into an overhand knot, like that. And for the final touch, I like to put a little bow here. I've already tied this bow out of this polka dot ribbon. You can put anything you like. And kind of a little decoration there looks good. I'm going to pull my loops down a little bit because I want to be able to read the R on Rosebud. There we go. Actually, I think that looks good. If you've stayed with me till the end, I want you to know that this is not my design. I learned how to make these from the ladies at the church bazaar when I was a girl. And this is a project that I really, really enjoyed making. I was probably about 12, I would say, when I started making them, and I never stopped. They've just always been a favorite, and my children look forward to finding this on the tree. So I hope you enjoy this 1970s throwback to the mouse in a matchbox ornament. They're fun and easy. I hope you'll try it. Thank you for watching my tutorial. If you're enjoying my videos, please like, share, and subscribe.